Well, no team in the only one team in the American has lost multiple games in conference and made it to a conference title game. I guess what's kind of the mentality, moving forward here, obviously with one loss already in the bag?
I think Coach said it pretty good early in the week. He said, boy, we're disappointed, but we're not discouraged. I think that all those goals that we talked about at the beginning of the year and beginning of spring and beginning of fall camp are all still kind of out in front of us. And certainly that starts with Navy. We can't get to any other goal until we get past them. So that's kind of our focus is on, taking a unique opponent and having a great opportunity to play on ESPN Friday night and enjoy that opportunity.
A lot is made about the Navy offense, and how much does their maybe ball control and time of possession game really put a focus on making every one of your possessions count?
Well, I think you got to consider everything anytime you do that, right? There's a full analysis of the opponent. We do a great job on Thursdays. We have whatever this week is, but on that Thursday meeting, we have kind of a full offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, head coach. How are we going to play into this situation? What's the game flow going to be like? And I think those are all things that we have to consider. And we're not going to quit being who we are, just like we're not going to quit being who we are on defense. But we do have to always have to take into account your opponent and the challenges that they provide. So.
You guys were rolling that first half, especially end up only up 13-10 at half. I mean, how disappointing was that? But what was the changes that they made in terms of you guys not being able to continue that flow in the second half?
Yeah, it was disappointing because we were in position to probably, if you look back, there would have been an opportunity. It's football, right? So I'm not ifs and buts, right? I get that, but there was an opportunity to be 24-3. Here we are in a fight. We felt like the pressure and the tempo, and we still moved the ball kind of the way we wanted to. The first drive we went 4 and out, but our defense did a great job standing down and stopping them, and we had a chance and we got the ball and moved it right back down into scoring position. We got to be better on offense in the red zone. We know that, and that's been a great challenge since we got back Thursday morning to really focus on how it is that we can improve in that red zone. And some of it's execution, some of it's schematic, but it's a lot of it's, I think the most of the deal is focus on it, right? Making sure that we improve on that, and when we're down there in those positions to score points, then we got to come away with touchdowns, not field goals.
Is there anything in particular that you guys have really honed in on in terms of that execution, that scheme, that in the red zone that you guys are seeing as the difference?
I think no, not necessarily. I think that just the emphasis that we've had as a coaching staff on making sure, boy, let's evaluate what it is that we've done in the red zone this year. How is it working? If it's not working, why is it not working? How can we utilize our personnel to the best sense? Obviously, we've had a rash of injuries, so making sure that we get guys plugged into the right position to be able to execute and keep putting them in position to make the plays. And some of that stuff is honestly just practice. You know what I mean? There's some scheme things that go in there, but there's also 2 drops in the red zone. So how do we make sure at practice that we're getting guys contact catches so they feel confident in those situations when we're doing that, right? We're 1 block away from squirting an outside zone for a touchdown. And okay, how do we make sure that we, once we engage and fit the block, how can we at practice make sure that we ensure that? And I thought we had a good physical day today, trying to emphasize some of those fundamentals and techniques that kind of get lost later in the season. You start focusing so much on scheme, and you got to take care of your guys because there's a give and take with how tired they are, how banged up they are, and then still being able to maintain your physicality and your aggressiveness. And so, we're kind of hunting that sweet spot right now.
With those, Bo had both kind of the leaping catch in one corner of the end zone, and then that front up that both were knocked out. And seeing that, is that anything with his injury? Is that anything, or was it just nice defensive plays? Just kind of what were you able to see?
A little bit of both. I think the main thing that he's probably missing is all those reps. You know what I mean? You got 6 weeks worth of missed practice reps, and there's just confidence in being able to do. That's why people practice, is because it does make you perfect in those situations. And he'll continue to gain that confidence the more reps he gets in practice and the more game reps he gets. And our quarterback, you saw, was confident. As coaches, we were confident enough to keep throwing him the ball, and he'll make more plays of those than he misses. And so we just got to, it's a shame they were both in that game, but we're confident in Bo, and we're confident in what he can provide us. So.
From a depth standpoint, we talked all this offseason about how much depth you have, and obviously football works in
no doubt, right?
ways. I guess with that in mind, with Bo kind of dealing with some injuries again, Curley kind of mending his way back, are you challenging the other younger guys? Like, hey, it's time to kind of step up. I know Roderick returned today. Is there a challenge?
Yeah, no, we got great guys. that's the beauty of football is, you're the second guy means you're a play away from being the first guy. So I think that there is an inherent challenge. And sometimes, you get into that and you talk to them about that all the way through fall camp, but they don't ever see it because I'm, the next guy going in the game. But then all of a sudden, oh man, I'm getting counted on, you know what I mean? Dylan Goffney was a guy that was, not playing very many snaps. And then all of a sudden Jake gets hurt in the second quarter at UCF and he plays 60 snaps, so that's something that all those guys, that's a good cautionary tale for all of them. Here, you said you wanted this, here you got it, can you respond? And Dylan did, and we're going to, be excited to get him continue to develop, but having some of those younger guys just keep pushing for that opportunity. We structure practice in such a way that the twos really get a lot of reps. And so just, being steadfast and when that opportunity comes, man, taking advantage of it.
What did you think of how Jalen Thomas played at right tackle, and how's Owen Condon doing so far?
Jalen's a Swiss Army knife. You know him. He can play any of the 5 positions that we need him to. He did a really nice job for us. I think that we got a chance to get Owen back this week. I don't know. I think that'll be kind of a later in the week decision there. So Jalen will be in our lineup, and it's I think he's kind of our plug and play right now, and we got to get the best lineup. He fixes a lot of problems for us. So what can we do with those other guys, and then plug him in? But he did a nice job, and if he were called into that situation again, would do a nice job for us.
I know you guys have talked all year about getting Preston in games and using him, and Coach Lashley has said he's going to help you win games. How big were those last 2 drives to see him do some things, and does that maybe give him a better chance of getting more meaningful snaps moving forward, or is that just a game-by-game situation right now?
Yeah, it was great to get him in there. To answer your first question, I think he is. It was fun. He was excited. He was competitive. He let us down there and scored there, late in the game, and it gives you a glimpse into the future of what football is going to look like here. And so we're excited about that. Obviously Tanner's playing at elite level right now, and so we're not going to do anything to, mess with the balance of what it is that we got going on offense. Obviously, Preston stands ready to work, just kind of like those other backups that we were talking about, and he'll be ready to go in when his time's called, and he's answered that every single time that we've had to, and there will be continued push. The more reps he gets, the better he is, and the more prepared he is in a situation like that.
Run game in the second half kind of obviously went away from it. Some of the game dictated that, of course. But I guess to get a little bit more out of your running game, does it come down to execution, or maybe is it schematically you guys can tinker with some things? What do you need to kind of get more out of your running game?
You're right. The second half, we really felt like probably that the best half of football that we've had rushing all season was the first half, and a lot of that was tempo and what it was that they were giving us and how we reacted to that. I think playing with some of the personnel and substitution patterns has navigated kind of where we're at right now. I'm pretty confident in the schemes that we got going right now. We have so many different presentations. It's still the same. It's the same basic scheme, even though the presentation's different, and so those are starting to hit more and more frequently, and we just got to make sure that we keep putting our guys in position to execute and have success.